Hello everyone, I'm welcoming you all once again to this channel. Today I'm going to start this first tutorial on Fortran programs, and our first tutorial will be based on data types and variables, how to define variable and how to also define like which kind of variable we are defining that will belong to which data types. So that we will discuss today. Let's go. My first slide is the basic syntax for a Fortran program. So the program here I have written like a basic one. So first our Fortran program will start by a program. So here the program name I have given as start Fortran, and next line is showing that implicit none, and at the end there is a line that is saying that our program is going to end. So that is this end program, which is also having the same name because we are going to start the same program and we are also going to end the same program, that is the start Fortran one. Next is here the implicit non. So why I have written this implicit non? So sometimes what happens during our programming, we follow like if we are writing a very long code or something, so we define so many formulas and all in between, but we forget to declare the same variable in the in the beginning of the code. Rather we are calling the same variable in between. So without declaring any variable but calling it in between the code is is also an error. That is not so big error, but that is also an error. So to debug all this kind of thing, we use this implicit non, which will return to us like you have not defined this variable, or your variable like you have not defined correctly your variable. So that kind of messages it will like return to us. So that's why it is we are we should use this implicit non, and it is very much useful when you will do further codings, and we will also learn all these by our different in our upcoming lectures. So okay, so this is how the format of basic Fortran code looks like. And inside this we can type so many different things. We can type anything whichever we want to do, that we can type in between this section. Okay, so next is like we know there are so many different coding language, but Fortran is a case sensitive one, like is not a case sensitive one. If you will see, go for C++ or Python or C even, so those are case sensitive, and if you will define the variable like something, if you will write print in uppercase and print in lowercase, then some you will get some error, I think. But in Fortran, if you will write print hello world and also print hello world, you will get the same output without any error, because this is not a case sensitive language. Next is data types. So if we will see that there are so many data types, and these things are same for all different kinds of coding language. So here the data types we are having similar to other one, that is first one is integer type. So what is that? So integer type will hold all the integer values. That means this kind 20, 150 and a long number, and this kind of numbers only it can have. And what about real type? So real type will have all the floating point, like the numbers which will come with a decimal number. Even if you are defining a variable by saying that this is a real type variable, but you are writing the variable as 10, or you are giving the number to that variable as 10, but it will return to you as 10.0. So it is like that. And next is complex type. So complex means we know that a complex number usually represented as something is equal to a plus ib. That means a is the real part and I is the imaginary one, and b is the imaginary part. So here if someone will write this number as 1.2 and minus 2.0 in the bracket, so the system will understand this as a complex number, and that number is 1.2 minus 2.0 iota. So this way we can define a complex number. And next is the logical type. So what is this logical values? So we know, like for logic we are having only two values, that is true and false. If something is yes, then we have to, then it will return to us that this is correct and this is true. If something is not, like the negation thing will come, then it will return as false. Next is character type. So character means we can write someone's name, like place, book name, and so many other name. So for that we need a variable which has to be in the character type. And in the character type we have to define a length. Like if you will give your name, so your name should be on how many, like your length of your name should be also defined in this section. That is len is equal to 20. That means if you will give your name, and your name shouldn't exceed this 20 number, like whatever character you will use in your name, it shouldn't exceed this number. So that's why we are giving an extra constraint on this. Next is variables. So so sometimes we know when we have to do any arithmetic or anything, we have to define a variable. Like if I am defining that a and b and then sum it, so for that we need to define some variable. So that variable should follow some naming convention. So what is here, that variable is nothing but just a name given to the storage area, given to storage area. So as we know that all the variable will allocate to the particular memory location, and there it will store all of its values. It will never get mismatched with other variable storage area. So everyone, all the variable will preserve their own storage in the CPU. Next is it can be composed of alphanumeric characters and underscores. All these variables can start with any alphabet, but we should avoid like defining any variable with a number in the initial position. We can use underscore in the initial position, that will be okay, but not any number. And and here also it is written the same thing, like the first character of a variable must be a letter, and it cannot be longer than 31 character. So in Fortran, in a single line, we can't write 31 character as well. So for that, if our line is somewhat bigger, so what can we do? We can use ampersand sign, so that it will understand that this is the continuation of the previous line. So this way we will see all these things. And here also the names are case insensitive. If you are writing sum, so all of them are in uppercase, but in between the code you have written sum with all in lowercase, so it will never impact your code or anything. It will return the same value which you want. That's why it is the it is not case sensitive. And here you see that for integer, if I will write this sum, so this will come as sum of like integer value only it will return. Real average it will return a floating point, and complex it will return complex number like a plus ib format, and character will be like this kind, any word you want to write. And but the length, as I have defined, that this will length will always lie in between 20. Okay, so yeah, this much for today. So thank you all. And next is what we will do now. We will try to write some programs here. So so here I am going to start like with any code, just a simple code I will start, as we have seen the basic syntax for Fortran today. So I am writing here gedit. So I will do this hello world today, hello program, and I'm giving the name here gedit hello.f90. Okay, so now this file has came. So I am going to type this program, because this is our basic syntax, and my code name will be hello. And also I will end the program here only. Okay, now we have to define this implicit non, and next is I want to print hello. So for that, what I will do, that no, if I am writing everything in capitalize, so I will write this print also in capital letter, so that you can follow accordingly. So star comma, here I am writing a character, so I have to write this in inverted comma. Hello world. Okay. So this is what our basic code is. So what we have done, like we have started the program with hello, and we want to print this hello world. So now it's time to save. You can use control S. I am using command S. Okay, so now let's close this one, and then I will run this Fortran hello.f90. So now it's executed. Now you see there is a output has been generated, that is a.out. So now I will do ./a.out. So now you see in our computer it's printed like hello world. That means it returned, like we given the instruction to return hello world to us, so that we can see that is the print option here that we have given. So it returned the same thing. So now what I will do, I will also go to get hello F90. So there what I will do, instead of writing print in capital, I will write this print in lowercase, so that we can see that is there any impact of having uppercase and lowercase. So okay, now let's save this, close it, then run the Fortran again, then call the output. So now you see the same output we got for this case also. This is showing that Fortran is not case sensitive. It can take any like any cases, uppercase or lowercase. So but the output will remain the same if you have not made any further mistakes. So yeah, this much for today's tutorial. So I hope you guys are following, and so thank you all, and bye bye.